Hello, I'm Ursula, I make comics, and today I'm designing a character for my new comic, Honeywalls. And by new comic, it's kind of an older story. It was originally a novel written by my writer and husband, Bones McKay. And just like one of our previous novel projects, The Books of Avo, we are turning Honeywalls into a comic adaptation. So in a previous video, which I will link in a card, I designed Ro Garou, our main character for Honeywalls. And today, I'm designing his mother. Her name is Rose Garou. Now, Ro's mom, I hope Rose, like possessive Ro, and Rose, the mother's name, isn't too confusing. We'll see. Now, Ro's mom is an important catalyst and character in Honeywalls. Yeah, she's the catalyst of Ro embarking on his journey in some ways. There's more to it. It's more complicated than that. But his mother is ill and passes away, and Ro is called back to his hometown of Cherrywood to go to his mother's funeral. He has to interact with his sister, who he has not spoken to in a long time. He has put a lot of distance between his hometown and himself, and he is not thrilled to go back. But he has to, because it's his mother's funeral. That makes Honeywell sound like such a sad story. It's a very sweet story. It's cozy, it's whimsical, it is a fantasy story set in like a contemporary setting. So yes, there is a funeral in it, but it is a very sweet, cozy story at its heart. But it does deal with some heartbreaking issues, and honestly, it's a really nice book. Every time I read it, I cry at the end, like tears of like catharsis and joy, because it's so sweet. So, more about Rose. She is an author in the story. She's a bit of a famous author. She writes children's books. Her most popular series is about Oxnard the Hedgehog going on adventures. So Rose lives in Cherrywood, but her husband, Rose's father, his name is Aster, he lives in the city. They're not together, and she opted to stay behind. It's actually revealed that he left to work to get money after she fell ill. She's been ill a long time, since Ro was a kid, and their father left to make some money, and he's not really in the picture anymore for Ro. Yeah, Rose opted to stay behind in Cherrywood, which is this tiny little town. The house they live in is called Honeywalls, which is hence the name, because Ro, when his mother passes, has to go back and deal with the Honeywalls estate and deal with his sister Sundu, has been living with their mother Rose all this time and taking care of her. So with her design, I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted Rose to look like. Where she appears at the beginning of the story, obviously there's like flashbacks and things, but during like her first appearance in the story, we see her, well, I guess technically it's flashback, because at the very beginning, Ro gets the letter that she has passed. But anyways, early in the story, during a flashback, we see her kind of right before her last days, where she is very ill. And so that is where I started. There are going to be some other versions I will have to design, but those will come later. For now, I'm doing what I have to get the comic started. So I had a good idea of what I wanted Rose to look like. She has the burgundy hair that her children have. Where she appears in like her first scene, she is in bed, she's swaddled up all cozy, she's wearing like a gown, big cozy socks. I knew I wanted the big cozy socks. And I just imagine her laying in a bed with like her big hair kind of around her. And I just wanted to design this, I guess, idealized kind of mother figure. That's something that is brought up a lot in the story. She's idolized by another main character named Claire, who's someone who lives in Cherrywood and really looks up to her and is her friend. So I wanted to create this very idealized, like maternal, gentle figure, because that's how everyone sees her. And I wanted her to have the vibe of like the coziest little children's book writer that could ever be. So she's got the, you know, cozy little cardigan, the big long dress, the perfectly curled hair, even though she's ill, just to give her this kind of idealized vibe. The only thing I really struggled with this design is I think you only see it right at the beginning when I was first sketching. I remember turning to Bones and asking, like, is she big? Like, is she fat like her son? Because Ro is a bigger character. And Bones was like, no, like, she's probably pretty thin due to her illness. So that's something I am considering for earlier in the story. I might make her a little larger when Ro is younger, like before her illness has really hit, because I think that will have an impact if her body has changed a lot from the illness. But we'll see. We'll see. But she definitely has the same hair as her kids, though that was also up for discussion with Bones. So Ro is a trans man. So when he was growing up, he was, I guess, femme presenting. And people did comment that he looked a lot like his mom, and then after transitioning, he is commented to look a lot like his dad. So I wanted him to be a mix of both. So Rose looks a lot like her son. I guess he looks like her, but he also looks like his dad. So it was an interesting mix. And then the only other thing I really struggled on was getting her outfit. I tried a few different little sweater ideas. I knew I wanted her in the long dress, just in like, I wanted it could look like a sundress, but it could also look like a nightgown because she's mostly in bed at this point in her life. And I wanted her in a nice little gown that's easy when you are in bed most of the time. Some big fluffy socks because you know your feet get cold when you're sick and you're in bed all the time. And then a nice cozy sweater. I ended up with a shorter cardigan. I think it just suited the silhouette of the character a little better. You can see I tried like a longer cardigan because she's got a lot of like elongated shapes in her just to get this very like thin, reedy vibe from her. But I opted for the shorter one just to cut up the silhouette a little bit and give it a little bit more shape so that she's not all like curved, detailed shapes at the top of the design. It goes throughout it a little bit more. And I added some nice little flowers to her socks and her cardigan, again, just to get that like cozy lady vibes, you know? You get me? I wanted her to be very like pastel cottagecore, because that's like the vibe I get from Honeywalls and Cherrywood, is it's super, super cozy cottagecore. And then Rose herself is very kidlit core. Does that make sense? Like very approachable for kids. I guess like in my head I imagine her as a teacher for young kids, even though she's not. She's a writer, she doesn't do teaching, but that's just the vibe I wanted to give off. I honestly, when I was designing this, I kept thinking like, am I just drawing like the mom from Full Metal Alchemist? Because that's like her hair shape kind of has that, and then she's also this like idealized mom. But so I leaned into that a little bit. Don't tell Bones, he's never seen FMA or FMA Brotherhood. This is just me. But I'm hoping that'll give the vibe to people who know, you know? And then the colors were pretty easy to figure out. I pulled from the hair color, the pink, just because that was the only color that was really set in stone. And then I didn't want her to have the exact same colors as her son, because with Ro, I used a green contrast to the pink of his hair, where I wanted her to be a little bit more harmonious with her red hair. So I pulled the pink from her cardigan, from the hair. I lightened it up so that it had pretty good contrast. And then for the socks, I went a little bit darker. And then I pulled a blue, so it's not quite as contrasting. It still fits with this cooler pink that's going on, but sets her apart a little bit from Ro's design. And again, I'm keeping her design very, very simple. I do this with comic designs. Honestly, I probably should go more detailed in my designs, but this comic is supposed to be made quickly. If you've watched our videos about the comic version of the Books of Avo, we talked a lot about that, where we want it to be kind of a lazy comic. This is something where The whole point is just to get the story out there. Like, the book exists, people can read it if they want, but we want to put out a comic version really quickly, kind of quick and dirty, cut corners where we can. So I'm using very simple designs that hopefully I can draw really, really quickly to get this story out. Whereas if you are aware of our other comic, The Scourge of Ninepoint, which is a comic first, it was never a novel, I really focus on trying to make the character designs like really detailed and a lot more thought out, I guess, and really use my design chops with it. Whereas this is a lot more simple, quick cut corners where we can get it out there. So her design is very, very simple. So it is weird looking at this design where I only did like a little bit of sketching to figure out her outfit for the most part, and everything really just like fell into place. Normally when I'm working on designs, I'll have like a bunch of different iterations where I'm drawing out like different faces, different styles, different clothing ideas, different shapes, and going in a whole bunch of different directions. But this one was just like, I got it, I'm drawing it. And it worked out really, really well. So that's nice for me, but maybe not the most interesting to watch. But let me know what you think. Do you like it? Is it good? And I think that's it for me. I am going to go and continue working on comics. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing if you want more videos about comics. And also consider becoming a member because it really does help support the channel. It's only $1 and you also get some cute emojis. You get a little pencil next to your name in comments and live chat. And you get access to some secret little parts of our Discord where we chat and giggle and have a nice time. Anyways, that's it. Thanks again for watching. Goodbye!